Marilyn Wolf, Niagara Woodland Campground.
I go by Wolfie on Niagara Woodland Campground. We're both owners of the campground. Full name is Thomas Wolf.
What initiated the spark in you to start a new business or venture, and the significant thoughts that created it?
I'll let you work on this.
Well, we initially started the business, the places that I worked and everything. I was a truck driver for 27 years, and there was a big layoff and stuff, and I was included in that layoff, and we had to find another future for our family to do. So we got into the RV repair and sales, and eventually into buying the campground and going to convert the two over. But we just went with the campground for future income and stuff, and a way of making a living for ourselves to do, and then further on handed down to the rest of the family.
How do you find people to bring into your organization that really care about the organization?
It's usually word of mouth. We find somebody. It's how we found you.
The word of mouth and stuff or anything, or getting light maintenance work or something like that through the school systems and stuff like that, putting out. So we take applications, review them, see who has any kind of field and training, responsible, able to show up and do the light duty work that we ask them to do and everything, and it's also seasonal. So.
And it's also a lot of family.
Yeah,
Our
a lot of
grandkids help
family.
us out a lot.
Family stuff.
They're
and
workers.
Yeah, with saying that, why don't we have Tom? You want to have
Sure.
Tom come
Tom
in
can
here
get in on
and
here. Here's the seat
Wanna-
over there if you want.
introduce him?
This is our
or he
son
can-
Tom.
Yeah. So as we went back, we didn't know if Tom might have to say something. I'm trying to bring people into employ or help you out.
Well, one of the things that we do belong to is it's a organization called CONY. It's Campground Owners Network, and through that, it's like a consortium corporation that we all belong to. You pay a fee to it, of course, but then once your campground belongs to it, it comes with buyer groups and everything else. So that helps you a lot on the professional end to keep your costs down, maximize profits. But through that, there's also state-funded programs, well, not funded, but associate programs where they call it the Work Camper program.
Would it be almost like a grant? Or
No, it's not a grant, but what it is like Campground Owners New York, there's Campground Owners of Pennsylvania, basically all 50 states, and these people join independently so that they can work and camp. Basically, they work to pay off their site.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
another
Even
way
for
you
the
can go
season.
through. There's a whole database that you go through, and you can pick people that would fit what you're looking for. They list their skill set.
So there is a system that is.
Yeah.
set up
We have a
to-
couple camp workers here.
Yeah,
The,
and then-
the Gordons, yeah.
Yeah, and then you can hire them up, and some are like
Seasonal
They're
travelers.
seasonal here for us. They've been seasonal for years, and then there's some that'll just come in for the season, work, and you never see them again because they go to another camp or they continue on their journey or whatever they're doing.
Wonderful.
And they can travel throughout the U.S. and Canada and stuff and everything like that, wherever they can get a job.
They go
And,
south in the winter.
Working
And
at
they're here in the summer.
national forests, state parks, or
Different-
campgrounds. You need an electrician. This guy's a retired electrician. And
Full-time
he'll come
RV
in
looking to
and
make a bill.
he'll come in for the summer. Him and his wife, she might work in the store for you part time, and he'll do work in the campground doing electrical work for you and stuff like that. So as long as you can get
As long
them.
as you can get them to work that, both sides to.
Right, and when they
Yeah.
fill out their application, they go online and you review them. You can pick out like this guy's an electrician, this guy's a mechanic, this guy here likes to do building work and painting,
Carpentry.
carpentry stuff like that and everything. So you can pretty much pick and choose
What you need.
what you need, and like you say, they get a nominal fee plus they get their campsite, they work their campsite off
Right.
and stuff and everything. So and then usually it's follow the sun. They come up here for the summertime. They go to Florida or somewhere else.
Snowbirds.
Snowbird it
Yeah,
down,
and
work
work
at
in
another
campgrounds
camp or
there.
state park or something like that.
If you had the chance to start your career over again, as in the campground career. Would you do it differently?
Well, if you start from scratch, you get the whole total thing of trying to find your campers, make it attractive for campers to come in. You're going to start off ground level, putting in your own plumbing, your own electrical, building sites, building buildings, making rec halls, making your office, driveway, roads, cutting down trees. You're going to start right from the bottom scratch.
Are you?
You buy into a campground that was already up, where the person that did start all that has it, and then you improve on that stuff. You know,
Or rebuild, refix, and
rebuild,
restart.
finish,
I mean, we've got
everything.
an
But
older camp, so there's a lot of repairs and
and you
fixing.
also pick up some of the occupancy of
Yeah,
it.
but it was
that
pretty
starts,
full when we
you
got
know,
it, wasn't it?
You know, starts off where you start off with 60 seasonals or so, as versus starting yourself and putting a sign out front,
And
season
marketing
camps and
Right.
opening,
from nothing.
marketing.
One thing that I would do differently is it's a delicate balance. But for a retail industry or anything like that, you want your campers and you want your guests to be part of, feel like they're a family, but at the same time, there's got to be a line in the sand, and they are, I hate to say it this way, but they are a number. And you can't let them run your campground
the way
or
they want.
force your hand at how you're going to run it. It ultimately still falls down to it's your campground. And I think that in the beginning, we
You
were
would've
really
implemented
concerned
that.
about what they wanted more than what we wanted, and it made our first 3-4 years really, really difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then once we kind of changed our path and went to it's business, it's
You gotta do
not,
what you have to do.
yeah,
Right.
it's not the Westmoreland on B1, it's Site B1. And Site B1 can be any name that you put on it. And yes, you don't want to be cold that way to your customer, but you kind of have to. It's great to be friends with everybody, but when it comes down to business, it's got to be business.
Right.
And that's what we didn't do for our first couple of years. And it took us a little bit to get into that
Learn
groove.
that.
And once we did, is even though we felt weird, like alienating the campers a little bit, it made life a lot easier. A lot easier. And that would be, to any hospitality market, I think that would tie into that.
How many hours do you guys work? We'll go individually on a daily average, or how much would you put into your work? You know, did you put a lot of time into it? Did you not?
You got to break down the aspect of the day. Okay, you get up in the morning at 7 or 8 o'clock or something like that, and you start, and you figure your planned work schedule, what you got to do on improvements or stuff in the camp and stuff and everything, and get it together and stuff. And that could take you to 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. And then after that, then it's kind of like you're taking care of the place, you're making sure things are in order, you're going around when it gets dark to make sure the children are safe and on their campsites where they're supposed to be with their parents. And then you have your quiet time at night where you're going around telling people to turn down your radios and stuff and everything and all that stuff. And it pretty much, winds you up to, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning. So when you come in and you get ready and fall in the shower and get up and get ready for the next day. Most of that is, a big part of that is weekend. When you
Yeah, the
say from
weekends are
Thursday to Sunday night, when you have people in camping and stuff, so forth.
Yeah. Why don't you try and take us through your week, as far as what each day?
Well, the day is,
how the weekends get busy. Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, nobody here.
Monday is your recoup day. After your weekend, you go around. You got to pick up the camp. Check out your garbage, see what got broke or anything like that, or any of the accidents happen. Somebody drove over a water upright or tore out an electrical box or bathroom broke or something like that, toilet. And then Tuesday is get it all together and start working and fixing it. And Tuesday, get everything ready and stuff for whatever you have coming up for your weekend event that you got to get ready for. And then Wednesday gets into your fixing day, is another day of just general maintenance, and you might lose a septic system tank and you got to dig up and put a new septic pump in on something went down, the unexpected stuff and everything that you got to be ready for, so that alters what your plan is. And then come back and finish pick up for the weekend, make sure your grass gets cut, this place looks presentable, get everything ready in the stores.
And in the summer, you have to do the pool every
And
single day.
when the pool's
Make sure the
open, every
pool's
day
ready.
you gotta check, make sure the chlorine's right for the health department if they come in and check your pool stuff. And then, get your grass cuts and get the place presentable, and then the people that are working in the store, here comes your weekenders that are gonna be in, and your seasonals, they're seasonals, but they're not here every day of the week, except for a few that live here. It's their summer home. But then you got check-ins and you got people and they want to buy wood and they want milk and stuff for the store, and again, then if you have an activity on Saturday, see what you have to do to get the pavilion ready, get tables and stuff, and see what the activity is and so forth, and the kids' crafts and stuff on Saturday, and then Sunday is a little bit of a breather and people are checking out and stuff and picking up and
A
doing.
lot of times what we'll do is we do have some, like I said, you got work campers, we have a couple seasonal employees. Your general maintenance, like the Monday morning, is go around and clean up fire pits, clean up the camp, make sure the garbage is picked up, because even though the garbage can's right here, there's a diameter of hope you can make it that you gotta pick up, and then you gotta go just up and down the roads and make sure it's presentable again.
Clean up the playgrounds.
And then you have your grass cutting and all that. That's kind of like what your maintenance crew is for, like I said, your temporary employees. And then my dad and I, we're kind of like the emergency picker-uppers.
Basically, if something comes up, you gotta go.
We don't have a
to it.
schedule. Yeah, it's our schedule isn't there. Yeah,
Always on call.
He checks the pool every day. There's got for the health department. There's got to be 3 checks a day done to the pool and the water. And I can't check it and he check it because it's always different. And if I'm checking it and changing it and he's checking it and changing it, the pool will never be there.
Speaking of the health department, do you have any other regulations that you have to?
Oh, everybody
abide
out there with some kind of
Did you know those regulations?
Yeah.
States.
Or could you maybe name some things that seeing as though
Oh, well,
campground things
we
that
can
you have
start
to?
right from the front door. You come in the gate. You got our store and our
Ag and market.
Ag and Market is right there. First people we talk to. The Ag and Market comes in. They make sure the store's up to spec. Make sure everything's inspected. We don't have our eggs on top of meat and meat on top of eggs. And they go through and make sure all the coolers are good, all the way down to our employee bathroom. And then they pretty much take care of that. Then the health department comes in and they check our playground for safety. They check all the ground faults in the camp. The restrooms are good.
All the facilities.
The facilities are all working, and then they check the pool, and they check the pool almost every Wednesday through the season.
Yes.
They'll come in, surprise spot checks and
Check
whatever,
the water.
and that's like the public health department. And then there's the sanitation. It's all the same health department, but then there's the sanitation bureau of the health department comes in, and they'll dye check our leach fields 2 to 3 times a year, depending on how wet the season is.
So there's a lot of things that.
So they'll come in, yeah.
You have to abide by.
DEC comes in with pesticide checks and make sure we lock our chemicals up properly, that I have my certificate to spray for mosquitoes, and make sure we're not putting chemicals in water that could run off into the state ditches that are around the camp. And
a lot of rules. And
yeah,
regulations.
a lot of rules and regs. And then NIMO comes in and they check their meters to make sure we're not messing with them. And because we distribute the power to each, they make sure our stuff is up to snuff. And the building inspector comes in and does a safety, checks our fire extinguishers and all that stuff to make sure that that's good. Make sure that there's no special buildings built that we didn't get permitted. I mean, there's anybody with an initial will come in here. Sales tax comes in. Someone from the state checks sales tax.
Yeah, I was gonna
The
say maybe.
music and the music
Oh
permit.
yeah, we have to buy
We
permits.
got a
Yeah,
permit for music and
there's
events.
There's 3 of them
You
that we have to buy,
3
yep.
permits.
3 different permits for
Copywriting and for,
BMI for
there's 4.
one is the people that publicize the music, one is the songwriters, and one is the person that sings the songs.
Really.
So you have 3
Yeah.
licenses you have to buy,
Bye.
or they will come in and gig you on it. Then you got your dogs, and you got to check on your rabies certificates on your dogs and stuff and everything.
Individual
Make sure
insurance cards
dogs
on golf carts.
golf
and-
carts and insurance on golf carts, and it's just on and on. I think there's 7 or 9 plaques above the wall on the window in there from different insurance companies, state compensation, disability, insurance company, again, ag and marketing,
Which isn't
New
anything
York
different than
sales
any other.
tax. pretty much every
Right,
business.
right.
Yeah,
But
But I mean,
aside
there
from the
isn't too many
septic and the,
campgrounds,
yeah, aside from
you
the
know.
septic and the pool and that, because it's public assembly that comes into effect a little bit more. I mean, a typical public assembly business would have the same kind of inspections. But with us, we're not, pick your local fast food chain, everything's inside of one door.
Right.
We're 52 acres, I gotta keep it all clean.
Right.
You know, it's a
Right.
different, it's a different deal.
You said 52 acres. Could you tell us the size and amount of
Well,
lots?
right now we have, it's actually 58 acres is what we have.
Okay.
52 of it is the campground.
So
There's
52 sites.
180 sites.
180 sites, and then we also have a piece of property next to us that's another 34 acres.
Okay.
So between, and then 20 acres behind us. So we've expanded as we could, because if we ever wanted to expand the campground, if we didn't buy the
Down the
parcels
road.
up, we'd never be able to expand, so.
Yeah, a big object that we're hitting and everything is it started in Michigan, and invasive bugs and animals. The emerald ash borer is coming across the United States. It started off in Michigan. It came in on some pallets from China, and there's nothing that kills the emerald ash. But the emerald ash has no problem killing your ash trees, burrowing into them. And once they get into them, it's within 2 to 3 years, the ash tree dies. It falls over, out of thing.
We're 70 to 80% ash.
We're like I say, 70%
It's not
ash
if you're
trees.
gonna get it, it's when you're gonna get it.
And it's not a thing, you know, like we're on the defense of watching for it all
so
the
right now you're
time.
facing.
It's all around.
we're
us. Yeah,
facing
we're
a big
next.
thing
We're pretty
of,
soon, I think.
Probably losing 400 to 500 trees that we have to figure somewhere of having some kind of a forest problem of replanting after we cut these trees down before they fall on trailers and stuff and so forth. And some of the trees are 30, 40 inches in diameter, 100 foot tall.
Large.
And so the thing is how to get these trees out or down and everything. And, you know, working on what kind of equipment you're gonna have to do that, the time frame on how long you've got to do it. Do you start now and start cutting down trees in the open area and everything? So whenever the ash borer does show up, because it is in the vicinity within probably 10 miles from us,
It could
15
be
miles
there
to
by
us.
now, we don't know.
And
I think it
go
is.
on to that, and there's no resources out there from any state or federal agency on it. You're
You're on your own.
on your own.
Quick last thing. I hear you're putting on a kitchen in
Mm-hmm.
the pavilion. Want to just maybe explain the purpose or what you're adding on and how
Well,
that's going to better help the campground? Maybe.
well, we have a pavilion it's like 30 feet by, or it's like, yeah, 30 feet by 20, or 30 by 36, I think it is. And we had a little 12 by 12 shed on the back of it that was, quote, a kitchen. And
it was used for
for prepping food
Events.
and
It has
mostly
safety.
events.
campground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
socializing.
Yeah.
we have anywhere from 10 to 15 events a summer that we cater to the campers, whether it's a steak dinner or a pig roast, or they do a theme dance where they do a dinner.
Christmas
And,
in July
Christmas
for
in
kids.
July.
Could be big,
There's
could be a
always
small event.
Halloween party.
There's always something, and just the medial cleaning of a couple dishes is a pain because we didn't have a really good kitchen on it. Well, the other thing is we have all of our storage at our store, at our camp store. So every time there was an event, it's 2 days of getting everything down there to set up, 2 days to get it back, clean up everything. So every event would take us almost a week of
Prep
work,
and
whether
post.
it's pre and post or whatever.
Right.
Every event was a week-long event for us. And so we looked into it, and we said, well, you know, we want to build this kitchen better. We've made it larger now. The kitchen is more functional, first off, but then we've built a pantry on the back of it, that 8 by 24 foot pantry, that all the stuff that's stored at the store will now be stored in the kitchen. Where you do an event, it's just shuttle it out the door. It's not
Exactly.
put it in the tractor, take it over on a trailer back and forth and clean it. And the facilities are going to be there now to actually.
So it's not just helping campers; it's helping you guys.
Oh yeah,
as well.
Yeah,
we're
helping
saving
us
10
a
weeks
lot.
of work just by having this camper,
Awesome.
this kitchen put on it. And then we have a club in the camp that keeps like they do our events and that, and like we have a carnival and we have a haunted hayride and that. And again, some of it's stored over here, some of it's stored over there. We're putting a room on the back of the kitchen that we can put everything in the back. So basically, it's a storage facility and
A multi-use.
yeah, it's going to
Kitchen
save us
and-
a ton of work.
Well,
So
So,
thank you guys again. That was Marilyn, Wolfie, and their son Tom, and they own Niagara Woodland Campground. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.